My live stream lectures. And before we get started, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. And with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is how to become a Notary Public Commission in the state of Georgia. You know, there may be some commonalities and there may be some differences from state to state, but I'm going to share this process in terms of what I went through. And the notary service is another service that I provide under my company, Parish and Associates Resource Center, or LLC. And, you know, I tell anyone, you know, although I'm fully retired, you know, I still generate money under my terms, utilizing my credentials, knowledge, skills, and ability in retirement. So basically, in any state, it's going to give you instructions on what you need to do, the steps that you need to go through. And in Georgia, with the Notary Public Commission application that you get off online, you get all this information online, it'll walk you through it. And it say basically, please follow these steps to complete your application process. It's an online application. All Georgia notary publics are required to complete. Number one, you got to complete an educational training course as part of the application process. And the education requirements applies to all notary applicants. Rather, it is an initial new application or a renewal application. And the training course is free of charge. So I went through the steps to complete that notary training course. I followed the instructions on how to attain that course. Number two, it tells you in this application to access the Georgia Superior Court Clerk's Cooperative Authority approved educational training course. And it tells you how to get to that training course. So I followed those steps. Upon completion of this course, a certificate of completion will be available. The certificate of completion must be printed for presentation to the clerk or superior court as part of the application process. And here is a copy of my certificate of completion that I had to complete in relation to Notary Public. So I went through those steps and I had to actually bring this with me to the clerk office in my county. Then it says you're going to sign your application in section 3A in the presence of a Notary Public. You're going to have the Notary Public who witnessed your signature sign the application in section 3B. If you have not already done so, you're going to complete section 5 endorsement of the application. Have both endorsers sign under their name in section 5. You're going to take the completed application to Jeff Davis County, that's the county that I live in, Superior Court Clerk's office for processing. The address and phone number is as follows. So once I did all that and did my training, printed out the certificate, I had to physically go down to the county clerk or superior court to finish that process. The fee for a notary commission is $55 for a 4-year term. They accept cash, money order, etc. The applicant must use their residential address in the application. Applicants must bring their completed application and the training certificate of completion to the clerk or superior court. And to the clerk or superior court for processing within 30 days of the online entry. Applications not processed within 30 days will be deleted from the online site, and the applicant would be required to re-enter all the information. All applicants must bring government or state-issued identification or verification of identity and residency such as the driver's license or passport. All applicants must provide the names of 2 endorsers. You have to provide the names of 2 endorsers that live in your county or residence where you're going to be a notary public. So the endorsers must be a Jeff Davis County resident, have known you for over 30 days, and may not be related to you. You must provide their residential address, a telephone number, and they must sign the application. So you follow all of those steps. And one thing about the county I live in, when you go to attain this information, it'll give you final instructions for a new Notary Public Commission application and all of the steps you need to do your part before you go to the clerk office. So it says, you must provide their residential address, a telephone number, and they must sign the application. Also on these instructions, it tells you the renewal applications are valid only for those holding a current unexpired appointment from Jeff Davis County. You may renew 30 days prior to your expiration date, but you must renew on or before the expiration date. And it says, if you have any questions, please contact the Superior Court Clerk's office. So basically, in the county that I live in, I literally follow all of the instructions of this application. I went online to make sure I completed that notary public training. I had to bring a copy of this certificate and pay my fees and complete the application to the Superior Clerk office. That had to be done. And again, these are just the steps that I had to go through to become a notary public in Jeff Davis County, Georgia. Once I went to the Superior Clerk Court office and they cross-reference checked everything, then I was actually submitted my certificate of appointment. This is a notarized certificate of appointment as a notary public in the state of Georgia. And it says, Georgia, Jeff Davis County. I, Julian Wilkins, she's the clerk of Superior Court in and for said county, hereby certify that Marie Holiday, with my address is on here. They have your address on this notary public certificate issued by the Superior Court. Your age, your address, all on here, was duly appointed and sworn in as a notary public under the provisions of OCGA Title 45, Chapter 17, Article 1, amended. That their term of office begins on the 15th day of April 2026, and it will expire on the 14th day of April 2030. Witnessed by my hand and seal of this court, this 15th day of April 2026. The clerk's signature with her seal. And so this is what you get at the very end. Actually, they gave me 2 copies of this once I was sworn in and completed all the application process and went to the Superior Court to finalize everything I needed to do to become a notary public. And they gave me 2 notarized copies. And then with this, then you take this actual copy to a stakeholder who will create your notary seal, because they have to see this appointment, that whatever stakeholder you go to do your notary seal, they have to have a copy of this original copy, and they make a copy in order for them to do your notary seal. My notary seal is done. I'm going to show you how the kind I got. And this, like I say, this is another service that I provide under my company. I charge $30 for each notary service. And this is a copy of my notary seal. And this is how my seal look. And it says Marie Holiday, Notary Commission, expire April the 14th, 2030, Jeff Davis County, Georgia. So now I am on official Notary Public in Jeff Davis County, Georgia. And I tell anyone, even though the primary service I provide under my company, Paris and Associates Resource Center, LLC, is to utilize my clinical credentials, substance abuse evaluations, people who are referred to me by their companies when they fail those drug screens. But also I do other things under my company, notary service, consultation, etc. And I tell anyone, it don't matter if you're retired or not retired. Create your LLC. Utilize your knowledge, skills, and ability. We all have knowledge, skills, and abilities, credentials, or whatever, to develop your own company, your LLC. I have a home office, and that's how I have always made money under my company, especially my last 26 years of being in the workforce prior to me retiring from state government. But I've always had my company simultaneously while I was in the workforce. And now since I'm retired, I'm still making money utilizing my credentials, my knowledge, my skills, and my talents under my company, Paris and Associates Resource Center, my LLC. But the difference is I do everything under my terms. I'm fully retired, so I'm still using my knowledge, skills, and abilities, and talents, and credentials to continue to generate revenue under my company in retirement. Anybody can do this. So again, that is how I became a notary public in Jeff Davis County, Georgia, April the 14th, April 14th, 2020, April the 15th, 2026. So again, all I have. Check out my other how-to videos. So that's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.